I still remember that night like it happened just yesterday. We had a small argument over dinner plans, nothing serious, just the usual couple stuff. But she suddenly snapped, saying I never cared about what she wanted. I was shocked because I always made sure to listen to her, even for little things like what ice cream flavor she craved or which Netflix show we'd watch. Later, when I got home, I saw her post on Facebook. In bold letters it said, "Men are trash." My chest felt heavy reading it. She didn't tag me, but I knew it was about me. The comments were full of her friends cheering her on, calling men useless, heartless, and worthless. I sat there for a moment, trying to calm myself down. But the more I thought about it, the more it hurt. I wasn't perfect, but I never treated her badly. That post felt like a slap in the face. So, I took a screenshot of it and sent it to her dad with a simple message. "Your daughter's opinion on the gender that raised her." Her dad and I got along well. He always told me he was glad his daughter was with someone who respected her. But after he saw that post, things changed fast. 3 days later, I woke up to multiple calls and texts from her. She was crying, begging me to talk to her and help her fix things. I didn't know what her dad said to her, but it was clear her world had turned upside down. At that moment I had to decide, would I stand by her and protect her again, or was this finally the end of us? I didn't reply to her messages right away. I sat there, staring at my phone, wondering why she even posted that in the first place. Did she really think all men were trash, including her own father? The man who worked double shifts just to send her to a good college? The same man who stayed up all night when she had a fever as a kid? I knew her dad well enough to guess how he must have felt seeing his daughter write something like that publicly. While I was lost in my thoughts, my phone buzzed again. This time, she sent a voice note. Her voice was shaky as she whispered, "Please, can we talk? I messed up. Dad isn't speaking to me. He told me he's disappointed and that I should think before disrespecting people like that. He's really hurt, and I don't know what to do." Hearing her like that made my chest tighten. We'd been together for nearly 2 years, and although she had her flaws, she never spoke like this before. Sure, she had strong opinions about social issues, but calling all men trash just because of a simple disagreement felt unfair. It made me wonder if she actually believed those words or if she posted them just to get sympathy from her friends online. I thought about all the times I defended her when people called her rude or dramatic. I always told them she was just honest. But now, I didn't know what to think. She kept messaging, saying she couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, and that her dad told her she should apologize properly, not just to him, but to the people she hurt. As I read her messages, one after another, I realized this wasn't going to end simply with an apology. I didn't reply to her the whole day. I just went about my work, though my mind kept drifting back to her voice note. By evening, I saw she had messaged again, this time saying her dad told her she couldn't come back home until she learned to respect people properly. That shocked me. I never thought her dad would be that strict, but he had always been a man of principle. He raised her alone after her mom passed away, and he always believed in teaching her what was right. Later that night, my friend Jake called me. He saw her post too and asked if we had broken up. I told him everything, and he whistled softly, saying, "Man, that's messed up. But honestly, she crossed the line. You've always treated her well. She's lucky to have you." His words comforted me a bit, but I still felt a heaviness in my chest. I didn't want her to suffer, but at the same time, I couldn't let her just insult men like that and act like it was okay. While scrolling through my phone, I saw an old photo of us at the beach. She was smiling so widely, her hair flying in the wind as I carried her on my back. I remembered how she whispered that day, "Promise you'll never leave me." It made my heart ache thinking how far we'd come from that moment. Now here we were, with her begging me to help her fix the damage she caused herself. But I wondered, was she sorry because she truly realized what she did, or was she just scared of facing the consequences? That thought kept me awake all night. Because deep down, I knew if she didn't learn from this, things would only get worse between us. The next morning, I woke up to find her standing outside my apartment door. Her eyes were swollen from crying, her hair tied back messily. She looked so different from the confident girl who once called me her world. She didn't even wait for me to speak. She just whispered, "Please. I need your help. I don't know what to do anymore. Dad won't answer my calls. He said he's ashamed of me." I let her come inside, and she sat quietly on the couch, wiping her tears again and again. She kept saying, "I didn't mean it that way. I was just angry. I didn't think it would go this far." Hearing her voice tremble like that, I felt my chest tighten. But part of me still felt angry. She humiliated me publicly with that post. And now that her father was upset with her, she suddenly realized the weight of her words. She looked at me with pleading eyes and asked, Can you message him for me? He respects you. Maybe if you explain it to him, he'll forgive me." For a moment, I stayed silent. I could feel her eyes searching my face for any hint of hope. She was shaking slightly, her fingers gripping her phone so tight I thought it might crack. In that moment, everything felt heavy. Her tears, her guilt, my anger, her father's disappointment, all mixed together into something I couldn't untangle. I knew whatever I chose to do next would change everything between us forever. I looked at her sitting there, wiping her tears, waiting for my answer. Before I could say anything, her phone buzzed loudly on the table. She quickly grabbed it, and her face turned pale. I watched as her hands started trembling again. She didn't say a word, just handed the phone to me with wide, terrified eyes. On the screen was a message from her boss. It said, "We need to talk about your recent Facebook post. HR will contact you today." My chest tightened reading that. She worked as a junior manager at a company that prided itself on professionalism and respect. I knew this was bad news. Her post had started affecting her work life now, not just her personal life. She buried her face in her hands and started sobbing harder, whispering, "This can't be happening. I can't lose my job. I worked so hard for it." Seeing her like that, I felt conflicted. Part of me wanted to comfort her, but another part of me thought, she brought this on herself. Still, I couldn't ignore the panic in her eyes. Her job was everything to her. She spent late nights working on presentations, aiming for promotion so her dad would be proud. Then my phone buzzed. I looked down and felt my stomach drop. It was her dad. He had messaged me, saying, "I need to see you today. Alone. It's important." My heart pounded. I didn't know what he wanted, but I felt deep down, this was about to get a lot more serious than I ever imagined. I left her at my apartment, and drove straight to her dad's house. My mind was racing the whole way. I kept thinking, what does he want to talk about alone? Is he angry with me for sending him the screenshot? Or is he planning to cut her off completely? When I reached, he was already waiting on the porch. He looked tired, with dark circles under his eyes. He didn't say a word, just gestured for me to sit next to him. For a few minutes, we sat there in silence, listening to the distant sound of cars passing by. Then he finally spoke. "Son, I didn't call you here to scold you. I wanted to thank you." His voice cracked slightly. "Thank you for showing me who my daughter has become. I raised her better than this. She wasn't like this before, posting things for attention, calling people trash just to feel powerful." I stayed silent, unsure of what to say. He continued, "I know she's been different these past few years. After her mom died, she built a wall around herself. She wants to look strong on the outside, but inside, she's still that scared little girl who lost her mother." His hands trembled as he sighed deeply. "But she needs to learn that her words have consequences. If you keep protecting her from everything, she'll never grow up." I nodded slowly, feeling the weight of his words. Then he looked at me with sad eyes and said, "I'm cutting her off financially for a while. I need her to stand on her own 2 feet. She can't keep relying on me to clean up her messes. And I don't want you cleaning them up either." I felt my chest tighten. "But what about her job?" She might lose it because of this, I asked softly. He shook his head. That's her battle, not yours. Then he placed his hand on my shoulder and said quietly, if she truly loves you, she'll come back to you as a better person. If not, then maybe this was a lesson meant for both of you. I left his house feeling heavy but strangely clear-headed. When I got home, she was still sitting on my couch, staring blankly at the floor. Before I could say anything, she looked up at me and whispered, Did he tell you? He called me just now. He's cutting me off. Tears fell from her eyes as she choked out, Please, can I stay with you until I sort things out? I opened my mouth to answer, but before I could speak, my phone buzzed again. It was an email notification from HR, not hers, but mine. As I read it, my vision blurred for a second. It said, We've received concerning reports about your online behavior. Please meet us tomorrow for an urgent discussion. My heart dropped. In that moment I realized, her post hadn't only ruined her life. It was about to destroy mine too. I stood there for a moment, staring at the email on my phone. My chest felt tight, and my hands felt cold. She noticed my expression and asked softly, What happened? I didn't answer right away. I sat down across from her and showed her the email. Her eyes widened with shock. But why? You didn't do anything. I shook my head slowly. It doesn't matter. Someone must have reported me because of all this drama online. Maybe your friends saw what I sent to your dad and decided to teach me a lesson. Or maybe it's just bad timing. But now, I have to deal with this too. She covered her mouth with her hands as tears rolled down her cheeks. I'm so sorry, she whispered, her voice shaking. I never wanted any of this to happen to you. I stayed silent for a while, just staring at her. I thought about everything, her anger, her words, her tears, her dad's disappointment, and now my own job at risk. Finally, I took a deep breath and spoke. Look, you need to understand something. Words have power. You posted that because you were angry at me, but you ended up hurting so many people, including yourself. You need to fix your life on your own first. I can't carry your pain and my pain together. She started crying harder and reached out to hold my hand, but I gently pulled away. I think it's better if you stay with a friend or find a place until you sort things out. I need to focus on saving my job now. She nodded weakly, tears dripping onto her lap. She didn't fight back or beg this time. She just sat there quietly, like she finally understood the weight of what she had done. Later that night, after she left with her small backpack, I sat alone in my apartment. I thought about her dad's words. Maybe this really was a lesson meant for both of us. She needed to grow up and learn to respect people, and I needed to learn that protecting someone doesn't mean fixing all their mistakes for them. The next morning, I went to HR and explained everything honestly. Thankfully, they understood after reviewing my records and cleared me. As I walked out of that office, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. I didn't know what would happen to her, but I hoped she would find herself again. Because in the end, love isn't about saving someone from themselves. It's about hoping they become the best version of who they're meant to be, even if you have to love them from afar.